My name is Fred Cook, and I drive school bus.
My name is Leanne Murchie, and I'm a school bus driver for TCAPS. It's been a very wonderful experience.
When I first hired in, one of the previous bus drivers told me that this particular job, driving school bus, is the best job on earth. So I immediately took to it, and I have to agree that this is one of the best jobs that anyone can do.
What prompted me in the very beginning, I have a college degree, and she said, "You're in the safest vehicle in the world on the road." So I thought, well, I'm gonna try. Because I would be on the same time schedule as my own children. And when they were off, I was off. When holidays, I was there. So it was the best of both worlds. TCAPS offers jobs elsewhere within the system.
Between routes, I used to, for 12, 13 years, I did lunch duty over at East Middle School, and now I paint.
They're real good about finding people the hours that they need during the course of the day to make the job great. We have Mesa Insurance. The whole district has it. It's awesome. It's the best health insurance. We offer a 401k. There's a sign-on bonus. It's a win-win situation.
The most important thing, I think, coming to work at TCAPS is you understand that you are part of a team. It's a part of a collective. It's not just bus drivers and then versus teachers. It's not that. We all are in this thing called education together.
If a person likes kids, generally likes kids, this is a perfect job.
So I'm talking to kids all day, and that experience is really heartwarming, and I continue to understand what it means to be a part of the community.
You are an educator. You have a chance to touch children's lives every day. And don't think that you don't. You are such an important part of the wheel of education.
Oh, that's child number 2. Had to
We would like to welcome the audience and thank you for attending. Viewers may watch Board of Education meetings and board committee meetings live on TV 190 or online at tcaps.net/board. Recorded meetings may be viewed on demand at the same address. Stacy, Doesn't look like we have public comment, but, all right, so moving on. We will move on to procedural items. The first is the draft committee meeting minutes from August 31st. Are there any changes to the draft meeting? All right. So hearing no changes, minutes will remain as posted. Next is the agenda review for October 9th. Board of Education meeting, refer to Dr. Van Wagner.
Okay, so we have first our normal call to order, our Pledge of Allegiance, review and approval of the agenda. For our recognition this month, we'll have the Grand Traverse Bay YMCA. I'm going to talk a little bit about our swim program that we've been able to bring back. So we're excited about that and recognize them for their help with that work. We'll have our first public comment. Superintendent's report, we will have a legislative update. We do have some tenure contracts added there, so might not be on your sheet, but that is a new one that we're asking to be added, as well as our normal district highlights. We would have our committee reports, again, our curriculum and exec. We will have consent. Again, a reminder, the minutes from the last board meeting were done in the special board meeting, and now the special board meeting ones will be here. With that, discussion, we'll have a school safety update. Again, discuss our property offers, where we're at with that to give the board an update. We'll have our second public comment. Have a closed session as in writing for superintendent quarterly evaluation. We will have a second closed session for security planning, as allowed under the Open Meetings Act, board president closing remarks and adjournment.
Okay, any
Great.
comments?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you for that report. Moving on to informational items, human resources. Connie Taylor.
Thank you. So first of all, just talking a little bit about staffing. As we indicated at the last meeting, we are currently fully staffed for our instructional side of the house, our teachers, but we're very much in need of food service workers at this point in time in the school year. So we have upped our radio ads and we're looking for, but we currently have 12 postings between part-time and full-time positions for our cook's assistants, and we have one lead assistant, or lead kitchen lead that is available. So currently 13. Now 3 of those, keep in mind, we are anticipating some retirements. So we're trying to be a little proactive and putting those out there, but we have 9 current vacancies. So, and as you know, with the food service program changes this year, they're serving a lot more meals to students. And so our current people, just shout out to them. They're doing an amazing job, but they're really stretched thin. So if anyone is interested, we'd love to talk to you about coming on board with our food service team. We have kind of closed the gap on our custodial maintenance positions, just one current full-time position over at West Senior High. That's a 3rd shift position if anyone's interested. And we're also continuing to look for our bus drivers, our bus aides, and our extended day program before and after school workers. So come see us. And speaking of that, we are continuing to do open interviews. We had them yesterday, and we're going to have some again next week on October 4th. Those will be held from 8 to 10 a.m. And then also on October 24th, again, here in the Boardman building from 3 to 5 p.m. And I know it seems a little bit early, but we're always trying to look for our teacher candidates as we anticipate retirements and things going into the spring and next school year. So our team's going to be participating in multiple job fairs over the next several weeks. I think there's 7 job fairs that our team's scheduled to attend. So I'm hoping to identify some candidates, some in state, some out of state, and we're obviously looking to diversify our staffing pool. So targeting some districts that may have a larger population of diverse teacher candidates. So hoping to identify some folks to come to Traverse City and join our teaching team. So that's all I have for a staffing update.
Excellent, thank you very much. Communications update, Ginger Smith.
No, we've got a couple
I'm
other
sorry.
items. There are policy revision and flu shot clinic.
Yeah, my apologies. I should have just kept
Oh,
going.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, my fault. Anyway, for the policies, as you know, we're starting our transition. We're putting together our subcommittees that are going to look at the various sections. Troon has 5 different sections of policies that address different areas, everything from your general to the bylaws. Section 4000 is really around HR and personnel items. And so we are going to start with that section. And Steve's a little bit out of order, but that way you guys can see how this process is going to work. So our team is going to sit down and look at sections 4100 through 4600, and those address employee rights and responsibilities, employee conduct and efforts, policies around non-exempt staff members, 4,400 is the professional staff, 45 is administrative and supervising staff, and 4,600 is superintendent. So we will sit down, look at the recommendations, make elections, and then bring them to the board to review that section first, so that you can ask questions, and then we will move on to another section with another subcommittee from within the organization. The goal is going to be to get you those at least one per month, and it may take the board potentially 2 months to review the larger sections. The smaller sections we may be able to get through in a month's time. So just know that that's where we're gonna start, and you'll be seeing next month our recommendations for the policy revisions around sections 4,000. And then the last one is Ms. Kendall has arranged once again this year in cooperation with Munson to have a flu clinic. And I believe we start here in 2 weeks. And they are going to be in multiple sites throughout the district. So our staff, along with their family and board members, are welcome to join and be part of those. They can come on site. Those who have our insurance here at TCAPS, those are free. But there's also a cash option for folks who don't have insurance to cover those expenses. So trying to just bring it in-house so people can get that immunization without having to leave their building.
Right.
So for the flu shot, it's just walk in then, registration?
That's correct.
Okay.
There's a registration form that went out to staff, but they do accept a couple walk-ins every day permitted.
We like the registration so they know how much to staff, but, you know, for example, if you're not able to make one, you can pop into another one. That tends to be okay as well.
Okay.
Makes it very convenient. Yeah. Okay, communications update now. Ginger Smith.
Sure. So the first thing I want to touch on is our TCAPS branding, and the communications department has developed a 48-page branding and communications guide, and this is to ensure brand consistency and that content likeness is consistent district-wide. This guide is interactive, meaning that all the links, all the logos, everything is linked for use and for download. The booklet does contain style sheets for each building, meaning that it outlines the approved colors, approved fonts, approved logos, and also provides pre-made online resources such as Google Slides, letterhead, and even the email signature for each individual. We are implementing a rollout plan to begin January 1st and hope to have the entire guide fully implemented by September 1st of 2024. So I do have a link that once it's complete, we can share it with you. Right now it is still a draft in the making, but we're moving forward and getting that shared out soon. The next thing I wanted to touch on is on the agenda is STEM groundbreaking, and actually that is going to be a save the date for Friday, October 27 for 2 special groundbreaking events. At 3:30, we will break ground at Central High School for the Central High School Innovation and Manufacturing Capital Project. And at 5 o'clock, we will then move over to West Senior High School for the West Senior High School Innovation and Manufacturing Capital Project. Electronic invites are coming out next week, and please note that the agenda does refer to these ceremonies as STEM, but the corrected name is the Innovation and Manufacturing Centers for both high schools. So just wanted to put that on your radar and know that we're working to have some great events with Miller Davis.
So with that, you'll notice it has naming discussion there. So, you know, there are a few routes we can go. We have had some feedback that STEM labs is just, you know, a lot of people don't know STEM from that aspect. Some people think that's confusing with our science classes. And so we've kind of shifted that name to Innovation and Manufacturing Centers. So I'm looking for a little bit of feedback. You know, we could go with a full-blown naming thing that we did similar to like our athletic facilities. You know, these are kind of just additions, not full-blown different centers, but we like that name of Innovation and Manufacturing Center. We think it kind of fits with the different people that have helped in developing it, our local manufacturers, our community. You know, and it also leaves some space in the future if we wanted to do something, you know, later on with any kind of university sponsorship or a corporate sponsorship, or, you know, who knows where that might go. But that's kind of our thought right now, but I'm looking just for some feedback from that standpoint.
I kind of like the generic Innovation and Manufacturing Center.
Yeah.
Are we asking students for their input as well?
So we do have October 3rd, we'll have our first superintendent board
Advisory.
Student Advisory
Advisory
Committee.
Committee.
And I did want to give them some, some thought from that aspect. But I don't know, like when we did the athletic center at Tech, we went through a whole big process with multiple names and brought multiple names to the board. And we'll do the same with West Center. And so, looking for some feedback from that standpoint, I would like to just put it in front of that group and at least get some feedback first, before we do anything with that. But that's my plan right now, if you guys can support that from that standpoint.
What about the Symatech and Syma Health programs at both high schools?
We'll
since
have we have some representation of that within the Superintendent Board Advisory Committee, a pretty good representation. I think that I would like to see how that goes, and if there's any feedback that maybe it's different or there's just not a real consensus, it's something that we could take, even to the kids that are in Symatech as well. And the robotics kids, that's the beauty. We do have really good representation of all those groups. So, just so the committee knows, one of the things I decided to do with the Superintendent Board Advisory Committee is actually do an upperclassman and a lowerclassman group. I think there's a little bit of different feedback from some of our seniors and juniors and wanted a good representation, and then different from the freshmen and sophomores. And obviously that'll continue, as they progress through high school. But we'll have a good group of, depending on the different times and when kids have availability, probably around 20 to 30 kids at a time that we're able to sit and talk to, on a regular basis, a part of that group to get feedback. And I do feel, we had applications done. They listed a lot of the different things that they're in. And so going through all of those, we have a lot of kids that are in just different activities. It is a very good cross-section, including a student from TC High. In that group, so feel really, really good about the diversity of our students and their activities and what they are that represent in that group. So,
Excellent. So then, get the feedback from the kids, but right now, just kind of moving ahead.
yeah,
with
I
it.
think I'd like to move with that. But if I get some feedback that I just think a different direction is needed, I'll discuss that with the board.
Okay. All right, great, thank you. Any other items? Do we need a motion to adjourn, or can I just adjourn us?
You can just adjourn this.
All right, our next Board Executive Committee meeting will be Thursday, November 2nd, 9 a.m. in this room. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.